Hello, welcome to Let's Talk About It with Ron and Sharen. I am Sharen.
And I am Ron.
We are here to introduce you to our docu-series that we filmed. It is called Because of Him, I Am. So initially, it was my idea to search for men who have the same experiences, but they really don't talk to each other about them. So we put a social media post out on all of our social media platforms, and we let them know that we were going to do some interviews at a couple different locations, and that we said that we were in search of individuals who would like to talk about fatherhood, and they're willing to share their personal experiences on camera about fatherhood, and they could be as open and as honest as they wanted to be, and they could be as transparent as they wanted to be. So we had some really great feedback from people who wanted to be on camera.
And they were, as we said before, they were very transparent, and they spoke well about their lives as being a father themselves, and how they lived and how they grew up with a father in their home, and then some grew up without a father in their home. And it really helps some. We're expecting it to help you also. Roll it.
Roll it. All right, so can you tell me your name and a little bit about your family dynamic?
My name is D'Andre Holden. My family dynamic. Two family. I had a mom and dad, brothers. What is it? Three brothers, two sisters. Grew up in one household. I had a separate father from my other siblings. We grew up in a household for 20 years, about 20 years, and parents split after that. So, well, they split to when I was about 18, my senior year in high school. But pretty much that's what's going on with that.
You have children?
Yes, I have two, a boy and a girl.
And how old are they?
My son is 8 and my daughter is 6.
So how did you feel when you first found out that you were going to be a father?
I had mixed emotions. I was like, yeah, I'm all right, but then I was like, man, am I ready for this? Or, it was a toss up between both. So, I was happy and scared at the same time.
How old were you?
My son's what, 8, 21, 21.
So do you feel like that was young?
Yes. For me, yes. I felt that it was young. Fresh out of high school, fresh out of college, a year of college, not working really, finding jobs. So it was scary. It was real scary, and I was so used to my freedom and what I was able to do, come in and out, run around at any given time, So yes.
So not in your plan.
No, it was not planned. It was not planned.
So if you could have had a plan, you would have waited until you were more stable.
Yes. I think because my ideal for kids was 30, 35. That was my ideal. So I'm 30 now. So right now, I would be having my first child. Right
You
now.
would have waited
Yeah.
to complete college?
I would have waited. Yes, I would have waited college, stable working wise, and then I would have had my child.
Were you on campus?
Nah, I wasn't. I was actually already out of school. Like I did a year, and I see school at the time wasn't for me. So I wasn't in school. I was actually already working. I was working at Durand Glass.
Okay.
Yeah.
What are some of the most challenging things that you have experienced about being a dad?
Being held accountable, responsibility, knowing that I had to feed another mouth. I got two people I had to fend for. I had to work. I had to make sure they had a roof over their head. I had to make sure they was fed, and the list goes on. I just had to do my part to make sure they were well taken care of.
What do you feel like some of the most important things your dad taught you that you use as a father towards your kids?
work ethics. He really instilled in me work ethics. A man gets up, go to work, no matter sick, raining, snow, sleet, hell. You work and provide for your family by all means, and do it the right way, you know.
So,
Go.
how do you feel about today's society when you see fathers that don't provide for their kids and you weren't raised that way?
Um, I think I'm not saying I think, but I know it's a disrespect, to the children because the children didn't ask to be here. They didn't ask to be in that predicament. They didn't ask for none of this. The father, that laid down with that wife or that woman and had that child needs to grow up. I feel as though they lack in a lot of areas, or they may not have a father figure in their life, or no real role model to teach them. All right, this is what a man should be doing. A man should be standing on his two, working, striving. I feel as though they didn't have that in their lives, or you just got some that just don't care and they feel as though they can do what they want, which is also a disrespect as well to being a father.
So, in your household with your dad, like what were some of the things he taught you growing up as a teenager that you still like hold with you today as a man, like between 13 and 18? Like that's a struggle for some young men.
I would say because my father had me in his later years, so he was in his 40s when he had me. So he already went through with my other two. He did all that. He interacted. He was able to take trips and do all, he did that with the other two. But I just felt as though when he came down to me, he was, I believe he was tired. He was up there in age. He's been working, nonstop. So I think I think that had a lot to do with, as far as with him interacting with me. But he was supportive, very supportive, very supportive. Played baseball, basketball. I was just getting into basketball. So he was real supportive where he'll come out, entertain me. He was that number one fan. My dad was always there coming into the sports events, because I just felt as though he was working, so he couldn't provide or he couldn't teach me in other areas. But, when it came down to events, he was able to show up and be there.
So, did you have more freedom than the other two siblings?
Yeah, I felt as though I had a lot of freedom. I had a lot of time on my hands. As I like to tell people, when I was younger, I was sneaky. So, I was able to do some things that my parents, they were too tired. They were too tired to deal with it. You know what? Just get out of here. Just get out of my face.
Okay. um, what do you enjoy about being a dad?
My kids, I just think when the kids see you, when the kids see a father, their dad, they be like, oh my gosh, dad. And it's so pure, it's so innocent, you just, I can't use the right words for it, but just the feeling alone is amazing. It's really amazing.
Do you feel like you're a good father?
Yeah, I feel as though I'm a good father. Do I struggle in areas? Yes, I do. I struggle. To me, I feel like I struggle a lot in my weaker areas. But overall, I do feel as though I am a good father for my two. Yes.
So, with your weak areas, do you seek help for those weak areas? Like, how do you deal with your weak areas?
I wouldn't say I seeking far as professional help. No, I don't do that. But far as I ask other fathers who are, I call them seasoned or veterans. I talk to them, because growing up in my household, it was hard to say the word love or I love you. It was very hard, but the actions was there. But saying it was a whole nother ball game. So I struggle with that. It's like, a little wall. It's like a little wall right there. But I believe I've been getting better with it, where now I'm able to embrace, certain ones, like my kids. I can embrace them a lot better than I did before. And now I got nieces and nephews, so, I try to embrace them, give them the love I feel as though, or the love and saying it to him that I never got as a kid.
Like affection.
Yes, affection. There you go. That's the
So
word. That's the
are
word I
you
was looking for.
you feel like you're turning into a hugger?
Yeah. I'm more of a hugger now. So, and my daughter, she's infamous for it. She'll, out the blue, hey, daddy, and just give me a hug. I'm like, okay, what was this for? Okay, I give you a hug. And sometimes I'm like, all right, baby, why you hug me? I just try to get inside their mind, see what their thoughts is. And she just go, I don't know, just wanted to. Okay, that's what we're going to do.
So do you think because you said that, do you think there needed to be a reason to hug because of the way you grew up?
Yes, I feel as though I don't. You try not to bring the kids up the way you were brought up, or you try not to let them experience some of the bad things, or the hard moments you felt growing up. So you try to change that. So you try to pour into them as much as you can. You try to love on them as much as you can. You try to hug them. You try to tell them, I love you, or I'm here, where you at? Okay, just want to say I love you. Once again, that's what my daughter and my kids, my son, they're good for that. Oh, I love you. Oh, I love you. Oh, I love you. And that's something still foreign to me, to a degree, because as a child, never had that. Never had them words said to me so much. Oh, I love you. Oh, I love you. I love you. I love you. I love you. So, now what I lacked as a child, I'm getting it now as a father.
Do you make an extra effort? Like, do you feel like sometimes, because I think I had to make an extra effort to force myself to say it to my kids. Like, I had to be conscious about it to make sure I did the extra to hug them, or I did the extra to say it to them, so that way, after a while, it became natural.
No, I don't think I had to go extra. I just think by me just doing it and taking those steps, it just became natural. It just became second nature. It became where there was no thought into it. Just I did it, and that was it. So it took time for that.
So you're affectionate with your son also?
Yes. I'm getting better with that. I'm getting better with it.
You're a hugger, though.
Yes,
You're a hugger with him.
I'm a hugger. I'm
Okay.
a hugger. I'm a hugger with him. I don't know. I just think with a son, and me and my wife debate about it a lot. I'm like, I don't want to show that side so much to him, because I don't know. That's just my thought process. I don't want him growing up feeling like he got to be so, oh, gotta love you. No, I don't know. It's just my thought process on that. So now.
But you do want him to be able to show his emotions.
Yes. I want him to feel as though he could talk it if something's not right or something bothering him. He's able to speak on it.
Right.
That's me.
But a healthy balance.
Yes, there you go, a healthy balance.
Okay. How do you feel about an absentee father, and how it affects a child's upbringing?
Good. Sometimes when a father isn't there, some kids do succeed, some kids do accomplish. They still get that father figure from their uncles. They still get that love. But then you got those ones who do struggle, and they struggle bad, where my father wasn't there. I can't, I don't know how to change a tire, or my father wasn't there. He didn't teach me how to be a man. Some kids still struggle with that to this day, where they're lost, and the resentment comes in, the anger comes in. Now, forget my father. I hate him. All the years of build up. So it's a struggle. That's a big struggle.
Okay. What would you tell your son that's the most important thing to remember, like reflecting back as like growing up to be like a man? Like, what would be some of the things that you would try to impart into him? Can you wait until phone stops? We'll cut that part out. You need me to repeat the question?
Yeah, you can.
Okay. What would you tell your son that is most important thing to remember about being a man? Like some things that you would like to impart into him that you would Like you would want him to remember your voice in the back of his head. Like what are some of the things? Like if you have like a top three, like
Yeah.
something, yeah.
Always have a standard. Um, be true to yourself. And my third one is your work ethics. You know, make sure you have a strong work ethics. Make sure that when you have a standard, you stand for what you believe on. Wow, just a lot of stuff has hit me now with that. Having um, set integrity, having a standard, your morals, um, just your belief system. You know, believe on it, stand on it, because with your faith get you farther than what money and material things can buy, or you can get. If you stand on that, you'll be okay. You'll be okay, through the good times, the bad times, because at the end of the day, you never compromised. You never folded. You stand on what you believed on, because you had a standard. Your morals were high and your faith was strong.
Dang, I'm about to be in tears. Okay, shoot. All right. I was like, I need to write this down. That was awesome answer. What do you feel you should? When do you feel you should ease up on helicoptering as a parent, which you didn't get?
Yeah.
So, do you feel like you would do that to your kids
Well,
because you didn't get it?
Well, right now, yes, I'm on top of them. I'm on top of them strong. I'm on top of them. They move wrong, I'm there. They say something wrong, I'm on them, because I want them to know that that's not acceptable. I want them to know that for every action there is a reaction. There's almost there's consequences to to your motives, to whatever you do. There's cause and effect. There's something behind it. So I always want them to know, you say something, if you say the right thing, okay, you'll reap. This is what you'll reap. You say something bad, this is what you'll reap. So I try to stay on top of them and be conscious of that. But I just feel as though, as they're I want to say 12, you start easing off, let them make certain choices, let them do certain things, and see what happens, and see if they change or learn from, situations, or certain choices they make. You want to see them learn and develop from. You want them to be independent. There we go.
Okay. What fulfillment do you get from being called a father?
Oh, wow. The fulfillment, geez, I never thought about it. The fulfillment for that is just, I just get a joy. I get a real strong joy behind it, and it's letting me know that I'm doing something right. That I did. My first one, I could say, wasn't always planned, but the second one was. And the fulfillment I get out of that is that I get to come home every day to my kids. I get to wake up to my kids. I get to go to sleep with my kids. That's I just think, having your kids in your life, it just, man, it changes you. It changes you to want to strive for more. That's just fulfilling all by itself. Man, I help bring them into this world. I get to raise them. I get to interact with them. I get to watch them. I get to see them when they, good days, bad days, they sick, they healthy. That's just a fulfillment all by itself. I don't think there's no right word for it, because there's so many avenues for fulfillment.
Okay. What do you think the difference is in being a father or a dad, or is there a difference to you?
Me, I don't think there is. I feel as though you call a father, a dad, somebody who's been in your life. People say, oh, I have a father, oh, I have a dad. I just look at it, I don't believe in it. If that person is raising you, that person's in your life, you're either gonna call him a father or you're gonna call him a dad. Whatever you feel comfortable with, or whatever or the parent feel comfortable with. So I don't look at it as There is no two. The father, that person's not in your life. He's just a person. That's just, oh, that's so and so. You know. Now if that person is in your life, yeah, that's a father. That's a dad. You know. So that's my take on it.
So, what would you say to a father who has to work a lot of hours and who can't find balance in maintaining the work hours with trying to raise the family and providing for the family at the same time? Like, what type of advice can you give to him?
Can I ask a question towards that?
Sure.
What would you say as far as what season? Are they toddlers, or are they adults, or are they teenagers?
You can speak to whatever
Okay.
season you want to address. You can say to this season, I'll say,
Okay, if you got a toddler, you know, yeah, I know being a father, you want to be there, you want to see the first walk, you want to hear him say dad, dad, or mommy, you know, you want to be there during the first season. But if you have to work and knowing that you working is providing for your family, do it. Work, grind, do what you have to do for that moment, because it's gonna pay off. It's gonna pay off in about if your goal is a year, if your goal is 2 years or 6 months, whatever your goal is, it'll pay off, because by you working so hard right now, later on you ain't gotta work as hard. Now you don't have to work all those long hours. You don't have to work 14-hour days. Now you only got to work 8-hour days, you know, or 6-hour days. But for the moment, grind, work hard, it'll pay off.
so what is something that you've never told your dad that you would want to tell him?
Uh, oh man. I just, I think, well, sorry, not I think, I know. Growing up, I felt as though if my dad could interact with me more, I think it would have been better, more beneficial for me. I don't think I would have been out running as much as I was. I know he was in his later years, so you know he was more prone to being tired. I just felt if he would have just been able to been there for me, spend time with me, actually talk to me, I don't think I would have been in half the stuff I was in, you know. So yeah, if he could have talked to me more, spent time with me more, I think I could have been better off. Not saying I'm not mad at where I'm at now. No, I'm not. But at that point, I think I could have made some better decisions.
That's a good answer. Um, okay, so we have one final question or one final question for our segment, and then you can veer off and talk about some other stuff if you want to. How would you finish this sentence considering your father, or this phrase, because of him, I am? And can you start the sentence, because of him, and then you can continue.
Okay, because of him, I am, I say, a strong black man. Because of him, I was able to develop a strong work ethic. Because of him, I know family is first. Because of him, you do all you can to make sure your family is well taken care of. That's it.
Do you want to talk about anything else about manhood, fatherhood, some advice for married fathers, or however, I don't know, your family dynamics, or you want to give some advice to?
I would say, as far as being married or a young married couple, just seek advice. Continue staying up under older married couple. They can tell you some things. They can teach you some things. They can instill some things into your life. They can show you how to weather some storms. They can show you how to get through some tough times. They can also instill in you the do's and don'ts to being married. Being a father, I would say cherish the time you have with your kids, because at any given moment they can be taken from you, or you can lose them. You know, not speaking that over nobody, but at any given moment, you know, your kids could be gone. You know, so you want to cherish the time you do have with them. You do want to take full advantage of what you have with kids, because as you see, these kids are getting taken every day, kids being kidnapped, kids getting killed, teenagers are dying left and right. So cherish the time you do have, and for the fathers that do have teenagers going into manhood or becoming a young man, tell them the truth. Speak on some things that you did. Tell them some of the bad moments you had growing up, because by you telling them what you did and what you encounter, you can save their lives. I feel as though a lot of these teens out here are lost because they don't have no real guidance. None of the fathers or parents or pouring into them or sharing their experiences, what they did growing up. And that's why these kids are so running rampant, and they're so, I feel as though, angry, because the father don't want to spend time. The father don't want to encourage them. The father don't want to teach them. So fathers out there, stand strong, stand on your own too. Believe in what you say, mean what you say what you mean, and you'll be okay.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for watching the docu-series Because of Him, I Am. It was pretty awesome, wasn't it?
Oh, man, it was awesome. I mean, that interview was awesome. I really appreciated it, and it really touched my heart.
Please follow us on our social media platforms.
Our Facebook, our Instagram, our YouTube, and our website, ColeyColeEntertainment.com.
Please hit like, please hit subscribe, please share this video, share all of our docu-series. We really appreciate you guys supporting us. Because of Him, I Am. And stay tuned for our next episode.
Stay tuned.
Be blessed.
Be blessed.